Hi, it's Sonoria. I'm back and I'm going on with the video. So, anyway, this is part two. Because I have so much to say, I'm gonna have to keep breaking this into pieces so that I will be able to stop it and post it and do whatever I need to do. Plus, I need to gather my thoughts because I have to be really careful about the process, not because anything that I'm saying is a lie or I'm not embarrassed by anything. Of course, my family is not going to be happy with me, but that is what it is. And the thing that I realize is that for me to be who I am, I have to constantly be who I am. I can't sugarcoat things and say things that sound so nice and sweet because people don't want to hear it. I like to deal with things that people don't want to address. The elephant in the room is very important because it is an elephant. He's in the middle of the room. So the reason that I'm talking so much or want to talk so much about my father is because even though my father got into trouble and he was always on the run for one thing or another, the one thing about it was my father was more of a Robin Hood. He stole from the rich and he gave to the poor. And he took care of people and gave people stuff, and it was just ironic the personality that he had, because back in this day, this is long before Crime Stoppers and so forth. Actually, I believe my dad was one of the first people that actually was posted. I was happened to be in Oklahoma during this time, and I was watching TV, and all of a sudden, on the news, here he comes, a big flash on him, wanted Richard MacArthur, and they got a manhunt out offering $10,000. I'm like, oh, Dad, and I'm down there. The reason that I was living in Oklahoma is because my dad had been incarcerated, and he was up there, and so I wanted to be close to him. I didn't want him to think that I had forgotten about him. My dad and I were so close, and a lot of times me and my mom would get into arguments and stuff. Well, basically she's always the winner because she's the mom, but I also let her know, like, you know what, and she says, well, you're going to grow up and you're going to be just like him. Well, I didn't think that was so bad. I thought, hey, that's okay, my daddy. So I mean, hello, it is what it is. I mean, I didn't pick you guys. You guys chose to do these things, and now here I am. So, but also I wanted her to realize that I have a choice. I can be like him or I can be like you. I can work and be really good at my job. And my mom has had some of the best jobs. She's worked for the city, the county, the state, the government. Like, this is a woman who was very well rounded. And she taught her children how to have manners, respect, and how to be obedient about things. And for her, it was more like, my dad is just going against everything and doing whatever. But I had found out that he actually had gotten in trouble. He was doing good. He was in school. Everything's going okay. And I guess he had an encounter with police at some point or time, and it kind of done something to my dad. They beat him up. My grandmother was from the Church of Christ, and she was a well-off woman. I mean, she wasn't rich, but back in that day, middle class was very good. You wasn't poor, you was middle class. You were doing good. And my grandfather was a carpenter, so he did masonry work and he built onto their home. And these are people who are salt of the earth, people who believed in working. My granddad was also a pastor, and so they had their own church. My grandmother is one of the people that started food banks. She also were keeping foster children, so a lot of children out there knew her. Her name was Florine MacArthur. And so my family was well known for good and for the bad because of my dad. But the one thing that I realized is that a lot of children, homes that I went to, their dads wasn't there either. And so I was like, well, it's just one of these things. But come to find out, there's a lot of people who never even knew their dad or seen their dad or hugged their dad. And here I was, I had the opportunity. It might have been limited, but it was what it was. Okay, I'm going to cut it off so I can be able to share some more. I'm going to go to part 3, and I'll be back.